So I figured we go live from the shop on the night shift, getting it done. Well, I think we're getting it done. Waiting on this battery charger to charge the battery for the drill. But right now, of course it would happen. I'm working on an anti-roll bar. So, I'm working on the anti-roll bar, and like everything that I have done so far in this project for the POMOD, well, just about everything, yeah, everything I've done so far in this project, I am making it removable, so that way it can be serviced in the future, so it's not just welded in. So that's part of my issue. I'm not going to say issue, but it's part of the reason why this whole project has just been taking so damn long, because whereas I would normally just weld stuff in and send it, every part of this is removable. Like I said, it's removable, serviceable, everything. The fuel cell, the air to water intercooler, the anti-roll bar, the wishbone, the doors, let me show you guys this, because this will all be in the next video. We've been filming a video over the last few days, obviously. We've just been working. What's up, Edwin, Peter, David, love the shop, Master, damn right, new turbo setup. How you doing from the UK in the house? All right, so, I can't even show you guys because the front end is just kind of hanging here. I got the stuff to mount the front end in, but I have the front parts of the front end mat, and I don't have anything back here. And I think to keep my body lines right, I want to work from here forward as far as mounting goes. So, but we got doors. Oh, yeah. So we got, you guys will all see this in the next video. But like removable, serviceable. I guess you could say designed. There are 3 holes in a plate, but I made this hole in 3D, then I 3D printed it. I made it all in CAD software, 3D printed it multiple times till I got it exactly where I was happy with it. I went, bought steel, made plates. Now we're selling these on SHITBOX SUPPLY. They should fit. I test fit them against a bunch of other GM stuff, 70s, 80s, they all fit, but like serviceable. So, you know, it's mounted just like a factory door, so you can move it. Boom, 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 boom. You can get it right. Like I said, that's what I'm working on with the anti-roll bar right now, is making that so that way it's serviceable. So we held up, you guys will see in the video, we held up our exhaust. Our 5-inch pipe is going to come out right about here. I got to order the pieces I need to do the mounting of the front end on like the cowl side. I have everything for the very front, so we'll work on my 74 Camaro. Yeah, this is a 78, so it'll definitely work. All the GMs, I'll put it to you this way, because there's a whole metric shit ton of them. All the GM doors that have this bolt pattern, where this one's not quite, if you look, these are not quite centered, but this 3-bolt pattern, that's what those brackets are for. So it works on a metric crap ton of GM stuff, because GM kept life simple and they didn't change that for many, many years. You know, I don't know how new it'll go, but it's pretty easy to tell. If you look and, you know, you're like, oh yeah, I got 3 holes in a triangle, but the triangle is kind of, it's not a perfect triangle, it's kind of yeah. So our brackets or our plates are kind of and all 4 of them are the same. You just, one side you use one side, the other side you just flip them over, flip them whatever way, and it works. See how it works? I mean, I don't know what I could possibly show you. It's a bracket It's a plate with 3 holes in it, and whatever you want to use to mount your fiberglass door, whatever you like, whatever kit, like McAmis makes a kit, that's a quartermaster kit, I think. So like the quartermaster, like this style, whatever kit you want to do, you weld it to that plate, and then just like, oh, I got myself today, I didn't even realize that. Just like regular door, you loosen those bolts up, and it, because the piece in the back slides, it moves around, right? The piece you bolt to. So boom, boom, boom. So you just center it up. And actually, here's one of my 3D prints. I'm making this. I 3D printed it multiple times, tested, till I was super happy. Look, here's a stack of them. I'll show you in my toolbox, right? So like there's first version, right? Which was square, and then we started cleaning it up, and yeah. So, I guess I can show you guys the car, because if you're watching the live, you're probably going to watch my videos anyway. So I'll be in the next video. Oh, well, you can't really see it, but fuel cell has been mounted. We've got 4 points. I made the straps, made all this, blah, blah, blah. The air to water is on a, I welded 2 angle iron to it, and I welded those bars out. So it actually kind of, it's weird how it goes in, but the front angle iron is this way, and then the back angle iron is this way. So it kind of and sucks right in, does all that. And then right now I'm doing the anti-roll bar. What we're going to do for the anti-roll bar is it's actually going to come off the bottom of this bar here, and it's going to be forward and down to the rear. That's going to work out real nice. Yeah. And then I'll have, I tried my very best. It may not happen exactly like that, but I tried to keep everything in the trunk mostly conformed to the tin work that was already done. So that was another part of the challenge, was, you know, putting stuff in places where the tin work had already been completed, because all of this tin work back here, it was not finalized, like it wasn't riveted in, but it was already cut, bent, holes drilled. Still need to drill more holes, but it wasn't finalized. So, but it was mostly done. So trying to keep everything conform to that. I need to get a battery box. Part of what I need to do is figure out what battery I'm running, what battery I'm actually going to use, and then I'll build some bracketry off of here to hold the battery. And I'm thinking, like, when you guys see like where this fuel cell sits in, it sits in, and then it, you know what I mean, the 2 spouts are right there, and it kind of boom right over here. So I was thinking that maybe over here I would do fuel pump, fuel filters, that kind of stuff. We'll see how that works out. And I want to do the battery over here as well. So when I did the math on the weight of where it previously was, before we even moved the turbo setup, but when I did the math of where it previously was to now, oh, hold on, I'm trying to flip this camera, to now, just the air to water, ice tank, and and the fuel cell puts us at 52% in the rear, with aluminum motor up front, that stuff back there, 52% in the rear. I don't think, and I didn't even add the battery back there, but there's still some stuff that needs to go on in the front here. We're gonna have to build a long travel kit, so I don't know what that's gonna do as far as our weight is concerned, because I know I'm gonna be welding some steel, some pretty heavy duty stuff to this bar right here to hold the coilover. Findlay, Ohio, what's up? It's all coming together, man. It takes time, money. Yep, it does. And like I said, part of what I've been doing is, I can't even tell you guys how many hours I have literally just sitting here going like this. Just like figuring out where it's all going to go, how it's going to work, can it be serviceable, removable, you know, because that's one of the things, like, it sucks now, but in the future, it should be great. You know, anti-roll bar. The anti-roll bar I have has bushings on the end. If I ever have to replace those bushings, like the one in the Nova is welded in. It's not removable. So if I gotta replace the bushings, I gotta cut it out. This one, I drop 4 bolts, boom. You know what I mean? Drop the thing out, and yeah, and I'll be able to service those bushings. So I've been making a mess. I've been doing stuff. What are you guys up to? Miles per hour would be able to be worth it. Oh, I don't know. This has been a lot of work, and like you guys can see, like I've got notes everywhere, measurements for stuff, math going on. I mean, dang, it has been a crap ton of work. So the thing that sucks, and like I said, you guys will hear it in the video. The thing that kind of sucks is we're at a point where we might have to pause on the POMOD. So I was supposed to give it this week, but now I realize it's Wednesday and things are just not moving as quickly as I need them to. We have some obligations we got to meet, right? So in 3 weeks and 4 weeks, there's 2 races we have to be at, right? I think the weekend after too. Pretty much what's happening. In like 3 weeks, there's some stuff that I've committed to that not only for myself, but for my business, for other businesses as well. Sponsors, like people who help out, I've committed to some stuff and we have to be there. So we're going regardless, right? We're going to these races regardless. But the question is, are we bringing a car? And that's where it kind of gets man. So I was like, let me see how much I can thrash on this POMOD during the week. And worst case scenario, if at the end of the week, it doesn't look like, hey, this is going to be feasible, this is going to be doable for us to have the car there, we still have the Nova. The Nova just needs the motor. It needs a motor. So we can put the good motor together and into the car, or I can get another junkyard motor, whatever the case may be. I haven't quite decided which direction we would go yet. But we have an intercooler too. We can throw the intercooler in there. We can do it a little bit safer, that kind of stuff. And we might have to do that just purely to meet some of our obligations from earlier in the year. So I don't know what's going to happen yet. Like I said, I'm trying, guys, but when you're doing this stuff by yourself, like, man, it's hard. And not only that, like, doing it, and a lot of stuff I'm doing for the first time. Like, I've put it in anti-roll bars before, but I've never done it in a 3/4 chassis car where, you know, the whole trunk I had to build and conceptualize and figure out and make sure lines were going to work and power and this and that and blah, 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 blah. So it takes time. Now, the funny part is, like, the doors went fast because I've already done a set of fiberglass doors on the white car. So I had that experience. But a lot of this other stuff is either first time or, you know, maybe not done a bunch of, whatever the case may be. So it's just taking far longer than I would think. Like, in my head, I look at the list and I'm like, oh, mount the seat. Too easy. They already got the seat mount's already there. I just gotta plop it in, throw some bolts in it. Nope. The seat mount is tied to the chassis. It's tubes and tied to the chassis. Here, I'll show you. I was in there talking about it. Canada, what's up, Canada? I don't know if you guys can see. Well, we could if I flip the camera instead of up my nose. See? Bam! Seat mount. The issue is I don't know what seat they had intended on using and built this mount for, but it's not a 16-inch wide Kirky. I can tell you that. So, you know, what I thought, 15-minute job, bada boom, bada bing, bada bow, is now going to be a few hours. I have to cut that out. I have to buy pipe. I'm going to have to, or tubing, you know, whatever, pipe, tubing, I forget which is which, doesn't matter. But I'm going to have to bend it. I don't have a bender. So I got to go to a friend's house to bend it for me. And, you know, I mean, there's just, it takes that thing, which would have been 15 minutes and now takes 2, 3, 4, 5 hours, however long, to get done. So a lot of things of the project have gone that way. I did start to kind of try to figure out the steering. Everything's kind of loosely done, and I haven't cut the steering shaft because I still am on the fence about whether or not I'm going to drop that rack. I think I'm going to drop that rack because if you look at the angle that it's at now, I mean, that angle is pretty extreme, and we're going to have quite a bit of travel on this thing. So I think even if we drop that rack an inch, would be, you know, it would be very helpful for the future. So, when is event September? Then it's time our start. So that's the funny thing is you say September winter time. Well, September, October, November, December is a really good season for us to go and race and travel and do all that kind of stuff. In January, it falls off a cliff, but September, October, November, December, really like to travel and race and do all that. The problem is, if this thing's not ready, we would have to do it in the Nova, which, I'm going to be flat honest, is not going to be a competitor. I don't know that this thing's going to be a competitor, but it'll have a better chance. I mean, 4-link car, several hundred pounds lighter, you know, more travel up front, you know, fiberglass, everything. Like, there's some benefits to this car. I'm gonna put a seat in the Nova, made a video, now you struggled. Now you're building a whole car, step back and look. Oh, believe me, Frank, and I appreciate that. I appreciate the, you know, the throwback, and it is really, really cool because, like, right, I'm building this entire car. Other than the 3/4 chassis, like the cage work and stuff, I'm doing every other, I'm building stuff, every other part of it. And then on top of which, you know, some things redoing things, and not because they weren't done correctly or whatever. They were never done with what we are going to be doing in mind. It was done with another style of racing in mind, so I kind of got to change things to make it more to the way of, you know, what we're trying to do. Oh, that thing will compete? I would like to think so. I mean, even if we just took the Nova tune-ups, throw it in this car that weighs, even if we end up at, let's just say, you know, my goal is 2,500 with me in it. But let's say we're at 2,800. That's still 400 plus pounds lighter than the Nova. So the same tune-ups should go faster, you know, and better weight bias and all that kind of stuff too. Because I believe that without any added weight, I'm going to be able to get 52% on the rear of this thing or better without any added weight, like without weight bars, without all that kind of stuff, just by putting things where they make sense for the weight and the chassis of the car. What do you think the motor will make horsepower wise? Will it be enough to be as competitive as you want to be? I'll be honest. I've talked to Derek, and, you know, because we go, Derek, I shout out Slower Than You. He is the man, and he is my rational, logical thinker for a lot of things. Like, I hit him up like, hey, I need some logical thinking. what we anticipate, what we would like to do with the new motor is, 1,300 horsepower, something in that ballpark. Will it be enough to be as competitive as I want to be? I don't know. It depends on the surface, all that kind of stuff. It depends on where we're racing, how well the program is running, how well we have it figured out, all that kind of stuff. But just by pure numbers, if we hit all of our goals, 2,500 with me in it, 1,300 horsepower, safely, effectively, that's going to be probably, I don't know. It's going to take some boost to get there. Probably, it's going to be 30 plus pounds. But we have intercooler now. We will have, it's not stock bottom end stuff. It's not stock head stuff. I got the good set of heads. Like, I got everything we need in theory. And we'll have a second fuel pump in there. Like, it should be everything we need to make that power. Where's the Texas Speed Block? Yeah, it's not here yet. I mean, it's not here in this shop yet. It will be soon. I'll be putting it together soon. I've ordered most of the parts. I think I still need to, I need to make a decision on lifters, and that's going to be about it. And then, yeah, I think everything else is like on the way, gaskets and stuff, and whatever else I needed. How's the family? Family's good. Family's good. The kids haven't started school yet. Like, I see a lot of people starting school. The kids still got a few weeks. I don't think they actually start till like September. So they're enjoying the last bit of summer camp. And then after that, that's where it's going to get kind of crappy, because I'd like to do some stuff with them once they're out of summer camp. But we got to do a lot of work, not a lot of time. Will that be leaning on it, or will it be capable? I mean, here's the thing. 1,300 horsepower out of a 5.3 LS is 30 plus pounds of boost. If you did it, even if I had a basic 454 big block, we could probably do it on 20 pounds of boost. Wouldn't be as hard. You know what I mean? A lot more cubic inch, a lot more airflow, all that kind of stuff. So is it leaning on it? I mean, kinda. Do I have the money for a billet, or not even a billet, but do I have the money for, here we go, because this is going to open up a whole fucking can of worms. For a twin turbo fuel injected big block, I don't have that money right now. So we just got to do, what we can with what we got. Is it water cooled? Yes. Water cooled. It'll still be wet block, wet head, all that kind of stuff. We're running E85. We're not using methanol. So it'll all still be wet. The intent right now, we're going to kind of see how it goes. The intent right now is to put the radiator in the back underneath all this crap. We will see. I can lay a radiator down in a bunch of different ways we can go, but we will still have a radiator. I can't do it. Like, I can't do a dry block, or a filled block, dry head deal. We're not using methanol. I don't have a push car. I don't have people to help me. Like, it's me and Brandon, open trailer, on the road, all that kind of stuff. I don't, we can't do it. Like, if I had a team of people and a golf cart to push it up to the starting line, or, because even at no prep races and stuff, like, you might fire it up, move 10 feet, shut it down, fire it up, move 10 feet, shut it down. I still want to be able to do that, So it just kind of is what it is. Now I'm just asking, is Texas Speed rating them higher around that capability? So Texas Speed is rating them below that. The thing is, you have to understand, they, put together this short block, they assembled it, it's their parts, that kind of stuff. But they're not, Texas Speed is not like a drag racing performance engine building shop, right? Like that's not their main focus. So they rate those blocks and stuff at like, I don't know, 1,000 horsepower or something. We all know better. We all know that you can push stock bottom end stuff past 1,000. So aftermarket bottom end is not going to struggle at 1,000. But they have to, as a company, put out, you know, if they put out 1,000, they know it's safe at 1,000, and it should be able to, you know, do that over and over and over again, be repeatable, no issue, that kind of stuff. Because the last thing they want to do is be like, oh, well, it should be good for 1,500 horsepower, and then somebody makes 1,300 and blows one up and is like, oh, well, why is that? Well, probably because, you know, something went wrong. Something happened. I'm not saying you did something wrong, but like, shit happens. Believe me, I've blown up enough engines to know that shit happens. Sometimes it's within your control, sometimes it's not. So, you know, with the rating that they put out, I feel more than comfortable pushing it way beyond that rating because, you know, just knowing what I know and knowing what I know about business, knowing what I know about engines, which is very little, but yeah. Yeah, this rear end differential make it hard so you just push it without starting it. Yeah, it would be cool. But you know, we got to do what we can do, what we got. What's the highest horsepower you've made in a stock bottom end Nova? Made stock bottom end Nova. No clue. It's never been on a dyno in turbo configuration. So, actually, it's never been on a dyno with an LS in it. The only time it was on a dyno is when it had the big block in it. So, couldn't tell you. Oh, man. I believe KSR is running Texas Speed 388. And I believe he's been close to 190 and a quarter. Yeah. 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 I mean, the thing is you have to understand why engines fail, right? And like, for example, look at Cletus. How much, I don't even watch Cletus, but like, I can tell you how much shit has he gone through with that big block in that El Camino. I mean, that thing's been in, out, in, out, in, out, blown up, not blown up, blown up, not blown up, blown up, not blown up. Part of it is pushing things to its limits. You know, I understand that if I'm like, hey, we're going to shove 40 pounds of boost through this 332 LS, things might happen, you know, and I'm sure it's the same way for him. Like, if he's like, hey, we're going to, you know, try to run sixes or whatever it is in a quarter, like whatever he's trying to do, like shit's going to happen. Parts fail, tune-ups miss, stupid stuff. You can spin the tires. If you spin the tires and it free revs and, you know, that hurts a part of the engine, or, you know, or the converter fails, and, you know, I mean, there's just so many things that could go wrong, that, to be honest with you, like, don't get me wrong, I'm sure there's some people that can really, you know, that are really, really bad engine builders, but I don't think that'd be the case. They wouldn't be in business. But, you know, the engines fail. Shit happens. You go racing, you blow shit up, you do it all over again. You know what I mean? I can't tell you. I used to laugh because I was like, oh, you know, back when I was running 690s in the 8th and loving it and spraying an LS and never having any problems. And then just the more fast you want to go, the more problems you're going to have, and the more things you're going to figure out, and the more you're going to learn, and everything else. LS Fest in September, yes. So I will be at LS Fest in September. Will the PO mod? That is yet to be determined. That's one of those events that I said we will be at regardless. You know, we've got a booth at LS Fest actually, so we will be there regardless. The question is, will the PO mod be coming? Will we switch gears, throw something in the Nova just to have a race car together? Or will we bring no car, or will we bring the PO mod under construction, or I don't know. I'm not sure. I don't want to bring the PO mod under construction just because, number one, it's a very, very long trip on an open trailer. Number two, I don't think it looks that good. Like, I'm not a master fabricator or welder or anything where like people are gonna look and be like, man, that's some clean ass welds, that kind of shit. So, what's been the best part of the build, worst part? I don't know yet. I don't want to say that anything has been best or worst. Like, it's just been, I would say the worst part of the build has been how much time everything takes. How much forethought and planning has to go into all of this. But I also have, kind of made a promise to myself and an out loud statement that this is kind of going to be it. Like, if I can't get something figured out with this car, and we might pump the brakes on trying to go fast for a little while, because it's taking everything I've got, every dollar, every minute of the day, every ounce of energy, everything. It's taking everything to make this thing happen. So right now, the worst part has just been like, I want the finished product, the end goal of cars running. We get to go start lining it out, that kind of stuff. But it's just very, very time consuming. How fast do you think the car is going to be? I don't know. You can do the math. 1,300 horsepower at 2,600 pounds. The math will tell you one thing. I can tell you the math isn't always right, because the math accounts for everything going correct. Converters correct, gear ratio is correct, everything is right, working well, all that kind of stuff. So, I don't know. It'll go faster than Nova. So right now, the Nova has been the fastest. We made the Nova go faster than the white car. We could have made the white car go faster, but I decided that if I'm going to put a bunch of time and effort and energy into something, it should be this thing, which should carry us through the future, through rule changes and all that kind of shit. Also, another reason why, like, you see, I did those plates for the fiberglass door mounting, because guess what? They come off. Steel doors can go back on. I still have them. So just planning for the future, that kind of stuff. Is the LS God's motor, or is it 350? Oh no, it's definitely the LS. What has been the main thing you learned during this build? What have I learned? Oh, actually, prime example. I just learned something right now. Drill smaller holes, right? So I made this mount, and it's going to be removable, and I just went to town with the bit for a 3/8 bolt. And what I should have done, I ended up, fixing myself and drilling a pilot hole, but I had already started the 3/8 hole. And then I realized that a 3/8 bolt is really kind of large for 4 of them on this. So start small, work your way up. That has definitely been one thing that I've learned. A huge thing that I've learned is that there is a vastly large and dramatic difference between I would have done it this way and I'm actually doing it. I have been beating my head off the wall with some of the stuff that I've been getting on the internet, especially like Facebook and stuff. But the fact of the matter is, I'm doing it. I'm in the garage and I'm fucking building this car. And I need to learn that a lot of people, number one, are well-intentioned and, do want to help or whatever. A lot of people just want to talk shit for whatever reason. But, like, at the end of the day, number one, none of their opinions matter. Number two, 90% of them, and I hate to be this way, couldn't build half of this fucking car. So that's one of the things I've learned. Also, done is better than perfect. I'm really trying to have a nice piece, but sometimes you just gotta, you know, submit to your skill set. What's it certed for? It's not certed for anything. It doesn't have a cert, but it should, based on specs, cert 7.0, I believe. Walk the car real quick with the camera. I got you guys. I'm a Mopar person, but why was YLS the God's motor? I don't know, because I said it was. So it's like prime example. I talk about, you know, oh, I would have done it this way. Everybody's like, oh, you can't get ice in there. Well, number one, oh, sorry, drop a tab. Number one, this hole is pretty freaking large, and if you hold an ice bag with half of a brain cell, and not just hold it upside down and try to dump it in, you can get ice in there. Number two, I've already designed. I just haven't had a chance to print. I tried printing it earlier, but 3D printers are really finicky. So I'm learning that. I'm 3D printing a little funnel. So it's not really a funnel, but it's a change in direction. It's gonna clip into this, kind of sit over here. So you can dump a bag of ice straight down and it'll just whoop, slide right in there. I've got a bunch of stuff out because in, out, in, out, in, out, in, out to make it work. But we've got doors hung. If you guys haven't seen, there's my fancy GM fiberglass door mounting plates. So the doors can still be adjustable. I say we need to create a real deal budget class or slow car shit. Never gonna happen. Like anything, any form of racing, money is involved. Money's gonna take over. Make it happen. How is welding chromoly? Chromoly, I don't mind it. I'll show you guys this because this is like not something that's gonna end up in a video. But I've been taking some stabs at the aluminum. I'm figuring that out. Chromoly, mild steels, that kind of stuff, the TIG welding, I mean, stainless, all that. I'm going to be honest with you. I have some experience, very, very little. And the thicker it is, the easier it is to weld. That's with anything. The thicker it is, the easier it is to weld. But I've got a little bit of experience. But really, the only way you're going to get good at it or better at it is just doing it. Is just practice. Is spending 4+ hours welding every pie cut and all of this crap together. And by the end of it, you should have improved. The first weld should not look the same as the last. So, oh snap. All right, I got to catch up on some of these comments. Philly Street Race Team in the house. Boom, boom, boom. How do you decide what you want to do? Have you ever read a chassis book? I've never read a chassis book, but it's because I'm 33 years old and I am old enough to have remembered the internet when it came on a CD, but I have the internet, so I've never read a chassis book. Have I read tons of chassis information and websites and YouTube videos and all of that? Yes. So how do I decide what I want to do? Here's the biggest thing. It's a combination, right? So nothing, unless you from scratch, I mean completely from scratch, start with nothing but a bare chassis table and you lay down 2 pipes and start from there. And you have enough experience to have the forethought of pre-planning absolutely everything that's going to go into it. You know, everything you do, there's a give and a take, right? And what is good for one thing is going to hurt something else. But what is good for this is going to hurt something else. So it's this constant, literally, building the car and deciding what to do is a constant balancing act between what do I want the car to do? How do I want it to perform? What do I know about chassis stuff, weight placement, all that kind of stuff. Also, you know, what is going to be easier for maintenance, and sometimes what's easier for maintenance is not easier to build, and sometimes what's easier to build is not easy for maintenance. Sometimes putting the turbo right there does help in some things, but it makes other things more complex. So it's just a constant back and forth of those things, and then just deciding what you're okay with. It's a personal thing. I'm okay with sacrificing that it's a little bit harder to put ice in the ice tank rather than just dropping a bag upside down, than putting it in my passenger floorboard where the weight isn't going to be where I want it, and if we have any leaking or condensation or anything like that, it's going to be in front of the tire. I'd rather have it behind the tire. It's going to add overall weight because the length of hose is going to be longer, so it's going to add overall water. This is the shit I'm talking about. Everything you do has a dual effect, positive and negative, positive and negative, positive and negative. And then you sit down and go, okay, well, what am I okay with? So, thank you guys. I got some aluminum oxygen tanks. Bam. Do you think it would be worth sticking 1,300 horsepower motor in Nova and finish other build for data and learn what combo works? I don't know. It could be. It could be. 6 in one hand, half dozen in the other. I mean, would it be... Here's the thing. The Nova, we already know what the Nova is going to do. It's just more power. So, for the most part, like, the Nova's been a 136 60-foot. Possibly, you know, get a little bit faster. It's going to be kind of hard with the rear gear ratio that's in it and all that kind of stuff. But it would just have more power throughout the run and up top. So is it worth it? Meh, because we know what it's going to do. It's just going to go faster. We can literally leave everything alone up to a certain point, and then just at the point where we were at 24, 25 pounds of boost, we can now go 30, 34. It's just going to go faster. Staying with the 85. No, nobody's ever told me that I look like Beater Bomb. I do hear quite a bit that I look like Boosted GT. Yes, for sure. Yes, that's what I'm talking about. Getting at the philosophy of what you are doing and what do you believe is the most important. I don't know. I believe that it's a mix. You know, I believe having a car that isn't a complete and total pain in the ass to work on is important, because it is a race car. Things break. They're going to have to come in and out. You know, all that kind of stuff. So when building, if you can think about some of those things, you know what I mean? If you can think about some of those things, it would be well worth it. Back and forth on, you know, weight bias, because what I didn't understand is, and I've been getting some education on and have been learning, you know, I think that weight bias is very important, but I think that it's not as important as it can be made out to be with a 4-link car, because you can manipulate a 4-link to do things that I'm not used to doing, because the Nova was a leaf spring car, the other Camaro was a ladder bar. I've never had a 4-link car. So I'm doing things based on the experience that I have, when in reality, what I'm about to do is going to be something completely new that I've never experienced. So, I don't know. But it's like anything else. Like, I don't, you know, 16 years old, I started fucking up cars. You know, I got a Toyota Celica, and it was all downhill from there. And I have had probably 60 cars or more, bikes, trucks, lifted, lowered, bagged, up, down, sideways, crotch rockets, this. I mean, I've had it all. No, there's one freaking cricket in here that there's a cash reward if you can show up here and kill that damn thing, because it does not shut the hell up. And it's been driving me up a wall when I'm trying to work. Can't wait to hear it run. I can't wait to hear it run either. I think it's gonna be pretty dope. I'm pretty excited. It's not gonna sound too much different than the Nova, but it'll sound a little different. We have a different cam and a different cam profile. Matt, I have a TDI S491 I bought for a build. I'm not using it if you want to give it a try. I'll try anything twice. Are you staying with the Holly setup you have, or are you stepping up to Dominator? Actually, HP. So Dominator's not in the budget, but I can pick up a used HP. I actually found one recently. I gotta hit the guy up and finalize that deal. But the HP, biggest thing about the HP is gonna be we can use an NTK sensor, which I'm told is more accurate than the Bosch sensor. So it's gonna be a little bit, if it's more accurate, it's gonna be a little bit safer for our engine with a more accurate air fuel reading. No, there's definitely a cricket in here. Like, you guys will see when we put the video out, you guys will see, because I like talk about it in the video, and I'll give a cash reward to whoever can kill that sucker. I need to get back to work. So you guys have one of two choices. I can either leave the live going and you guys can start watching me drill stuff, or I can shut the live off and get back to work, because I've been live for like 45 minutes. It's been, I mean, I don't know if that battery's charged, but it's charged enough to drill 4 holes that I need to drill. Does HP have traction control? I don't know. They all have traction control. They all do at this point. Well, and it depends on what you mean by traction control. If you mean Holly's version of traction control that they make you pay for, I don't know. But can you have traction control in all of them? Absolutely. You're just limited. The difference is Terminator only has so many, 1D, 2D tables, all that kind of stuff. So you can only manipulate so many things at once. Where when you go to an HP or a Dominator, the software has, instead of 4 1D tables, you have 8 1D tables or 10 1D tables, whatever. I don't know what it is. So what the actual number is. So you can manipulate more things at once. But you can take a 1D or a 2D table and input drive shaft speed and wheel speed and make traction control in a Holly Terminator. Question is, what do you, what are you giving up? But yeah, with the questions. Well, I do traction control. We shall have some semblance. Is HP comparable to a Dominator? Terminator, HP, Dominator. That's the way it goes. Let me grab this battery and we'll get it drilling and put this other one on the charger. You're going to have shock sensors? I would like to, yes. I'd like to do front and rear shock sensors. I'd like to do drive shaft speed and wheel speed. Wouldn't mind having some back pressure. I definitely would like to have a coolant pressure sensor. That would be nice. We can do that. Yeah, I'd like to sensor this thing up. Like that's the whole plan. Like this car is supposed to be it. Like everything that I wanted to do to a car, we're supposed to do to this joker. Where's my glasses? They're not on my head. Damn it, guys. Where's my glasses? I know it sounds silly. I mean, it's safety. It's not silly, but like, oh, there's a set in there. I have been doing a really good job about like wearing safety glasses and gloves and different kinds of shit. Matter of fact, I'm gonna grab my gloves right now. Just because this much cutting, welding, grinding, all that kind of stuff, What about painting it? I don't give a shit about paint. I'm gonna be completely honest with you. I will spray paint this thing and call it a day for all I care. It's the Poe mod. back up so you guys can see me drilling like a dummy. I was just about to say, let me not do this in a fucked up way so I don't break the drill bit. Luckily, these drill bits were on sale. I got them cheap, so. Bump. We've already got a broken one. That's a broken one already. We'll drill this. We'll leave this sucker right here. If you want to sensor up, you might as well get the Dominator. For what? Are you paying for it? Because if you're paying for it, I'll go ahead and order it right now. But I've got an expansion module, and hopefully an Holly HP. Put some oil on it. It's not an, I mean, I'm with you, but it's not really an oil issue. It's not really that. It's, I'm drilling through 3 pieces of steel at once that's really thick. Damn it. And it's around this bar where the drill freaking can't get to. Alright, we're gonna have to do this the stupid way. Oh my god, great one. Yeah. Don't care. I went live because I wanted to go live. And I've gotten a metric shit ton done, so. Side note, this drill bit is badass. I paid like $20 for this single drill bit, and that thing works. Is it the expansion one? No. No, it's a lot more than that. Gotta get it right. Yeah. Now I remember why I took a break to go live. This is a lot of shit to drill through. And if you press too hard, the Joker gets stuck in. Almost there. I don't know if you guys can tell, but that's like over a ½ inch of steel I'm drilling through. Oh, but another thing I learned. Clamp shit together, drill the holes with stuff clamped together, and your holes will end up where they're supposed to be. I don't have soap. I don't have shit. Here, I got, just for everybody, I got something here. Some lubricant. That's all I got here. We are not fully outfitted in this shop. I know you're gonna be like, you don't have soap? No, we don't, because we don't have running water. this shop doesn't have water. That's why we have a porta potty. All right, there's one. Now this one's gonna be harder because I couldn't drill the pilot hole. But we'll do this one too. And then, once we're done with this one, then it'll be ready, I think, to figure out how I'm gonna hold it up in the car. So I can weld it all in place. Set up a rain catch free water. I was thinking about it for the shop here, just so we could wash our hands, because right now, like, we got to use wipes. You know what I mean? Like, I forget, like tough wipes or whatever the hell they're called. Nope. In Delaware, collecting rainwater is legal. That hurts the back. What? No, not HP. No. Holly HP, not HP tuners. I wouldn't touch HP tuners with a 30-foot pole. I mean, I have, but... Oh, look. I don't know if you guys can see my little sticky. I got blood work today. They took like 15 vials of blood out of me today. Even the people taking the blood were surprised. They were like, isn't that a lot? I'm like, yeah, they're looking for something. We're almost through the second plate. It's all hopped up on the orange juice. Orange juice? No, I got Mountain Dew. No, things have been screwed up lately. I've been doing a lot of work, so I've been getting up a little bit later. But then I come to the shop, work all day, go home at night, do 3D designs, you know, CAD designs, whatever. Why the blood? Part of trying to figure out what's wrong with my stomach and all that kind of stuff. Oh yeah, at some point I need to have surgery. Like, I should have had surgery months ago. And next week I have an appointment. They've already confirmed this with an MRI and all kinds of shit. Next week I have an appointment, and hopefully after that they will schedule my surgery. It is. It's a very long hole. This is why I took a break to go live, because I was like, man, this hole sucks. And the problem was I did the first one for a 3/8 bolt, so I was like, oh, well, maybe I'll just do the other three a smaller bolt. Not gonna do that, that's ghetto. Well, maybe I'll just do 3/8 on the end. Then it's gonna take 2 different wrenches to take it off. Gotta just do it all the way. Ugh. We're getting somewhere. That end where it goes through, you gotta slow down on your push. Man, that thing's, she hot. Oh, can you? Yeah, you can see the drill bit smoking. I'm getting my money's worth out of that $20 drill bit right there, I can tell you what. And boy, do I have a mess to clean up on this floor. But we should. Let me get this out. Get my glove off. No glove, no love. You know the deal. Alright, there's that. Yeah, we might have to. Bro, the cricket is not bullshitting. The cricket. Oh, here, look. Look at this, guys. I'm proud of this. I got a full bolt bin with all grade 8 bolts. Am I drilling chromoly? No, it's not chromoly. It's steel. It's mild steel, but that is thick. So which one did I need? 3/8 by 1. Boom. All that just so I can do this. Damn. Sorry, phone fell. But all that just so I can do this right here. Right? What if all the crickets of the world were in sync? Do you ever think about that? I did not let the camera hit the floor. It did not hit the floor. It hit the rack. Imagine what kind of technology crickets have that they are in sync around the world, and we're not smart enough to figure out how to be that synchronized. Oh, shit is a mess. Shit everywhere. Bum, bum, bum. There's my 9/16 wrench right there. We're just gonna have to do this the way we're gonna have to do it for now. Just get this tightened up. Oh, without dropping that. Can't drop that. Get this out of the way. I will tell you what though, this little $80 Harbor Freight welding table is one of the best purchases I have made of this entire build. I have done so much on this little $80 welding table between clamping stuff to it, welding it, drilling holes. I mean, like, I have done a lot. So there you go, right? Bam. Now, this is where it's gonna get fun and interesting. Right? I'm not gonna be able to do this right now, but let me show you. Flip the camera. Come on, flip, 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 flip. So now it'll go here, right? Actually, it's got to go like up there, and it'll be removable, serviceable. Bam. So there's that. Good news, bad news time. Good news is the incredibly long time I've taken to do that is now complete. Bad news is we don't have, I've got the rear coilovers, but I don't have springs. But I want to grab them and try to get an idea of where the spring is going to be to make sure we're not getting too close to the spring. Nick said, hey, make sure you can still fit a 29, which we can. We're not going that far out wide, so that's good. Floor, tin work's already done. The tin work is already done. It's already, it'll be we're gonna have to, I'll have to trim some of it up there, but all this will be bump, bump, bump. It's already been done. But that's part of the other reason, like, some of this stuff is taking time, because I'm trying to build stuff around the tin work that was pre-existing. I will say this, I mean, I am very, very glad that the tin work was done, because it's one less thing I got to do, and I've never done it before, so I'd probably really suck at it. But don't do tin work until everything you are going to put in there is in there, welded, painted, done, boom. What does that bar do? It's the DNR roll bar. So that bar will go in, and then it has another bar that slides in with 2 bushings, and a roll bar. I got to pee, so I'm gonna go hit the porta potty. All right, I'm back, y'all. Figures, I'll leave and the cricket shuts up. Are there still people watching this? I think there's more people watching than there was before I went to the bathroom. Damn it, man. All right, so in our roll bar, can't get crossed off the list yet, because I gotta grab the rear coilovers. Holy crap, you guys wanna see how much grinding and crap I've been doing on this welding table? Yeah, you guys are gonna watch me clean. Sorry if you don't like it. I'll answer questions and stuff. Anybody got any more questions? There's shout out, and I'm very, very sorry, because it's entirely my fault. Somebody has been asking a lot of good questions about, like, the build and stuff, and all that kind of stuff. How the fuck do you work Brandon's tripod? What's up, Mike? When's Mel putting Halloween decorations in the garage? I don't know that she's decorating the shop, but if you give her that idea, I'm sure she probably will. Oh, that's not good. We got a low power warning on the old cell phone. Cricket followed me. I hope he did. Do we have a cell phone charger in here? I don't think we do. I don't have an iPhone charger in here. Somebody does, though. Brandon's got one. Let's see if it works. Bump, bump, bump. If this thing works. Oh, it's USB-C. Do we have USB-C? We do have USB-C. Let's see, does it work? No, because I didn't turn this thing on. How do you turn it on? Technology will be the death of me. I don't think I can plug it in. The only thing I could plug it into would be my computer. Can put up sponsor banners. Yeah, we got to do that too. There's always stuff to be done, that's for sure. I don't know how much charge my computer got, but she's about to take the trust. Sorry. All right, now the computer doesn't have much charge, but the computer is going to be charging the iPhone, so I can put this iPhone on the tripod so you guys can watch me clean. And I will orientate the camera in a way in which I can come back every once in a while and read the comments. Do you have a tube bender? I do not. I do not have a tube bender. I could really, really use one. It would be super helpful in doing this. That's also been part of the other reason why some of these projects have taken incredibly long, because tools and equipment, right? So I don't have a tube bender, and that's not the end of the world, you know, but if I had a tube bender, I could have designed certain things differently and would have made for a much better end product. But I'm finding it hard to rationalize. The tube benders are not cheap, especially any decent ones. And I'm finding it hard to rationalize spending that much money just to build one car. So, will I use it again? I'm sure that I will. But right now we're building one car. So, yeah. TIG welder, great investment. You know, if I make any changes to any of the turbo stuff or, you know, cold side or anything like that, gonna come super in handy to just be able to do it myself. Just like now, right? We're talking about possibly putting a motor in the Nova, but putting the air to water intercooler in there. So if we do that, we're gonna have to redo the cold side. Oh, there we go. I have to redo the cold side. So TIG welder, that investment to me was worth it, especially with the sheer amount of crap that needed to be welded on this car anyway. So, and some of it's chromoly and all that kind of stuff. So, love the. Have you decided on a color? I haven't. I have not decided on a color. I don't really. I'm gonna be honest. See, that's why we're trying to clean up in here. Shit's just dropping. I'll be honest, I have given it some thought, but I haven't made a decision. It is very low on the totem pole as far as things that are important to me right now. Would I like it to be painted? Absolutely. Would I like it to look halfway decent? Absolutely. Do I know that we're going to be taking it across the country on an open trailer and no prepping it and everything else, and the likelihood that it is going to get screwed up is very high? Yes. So do I want to spend a lot of time, money, energy, all that kind of stuff on paint? Not so much. These things, not only these, but these and the welding table, the $80 welding table from Harbor Freight, have been some of the best money that I have spent so far on this project. And it sounds stupid because there's stuff that has been thousands of dollars. But this stuff right here that was cheap, and not that, you know, well, I don't want to say cheap. Cheap is derivative of quality. Inexpensive. This stuff has been inexpensive and has been absolutely amazing. So get these, trust me. All right, we got more questions. What else we got up in here? Like I said, whoever it was earlier was asking a lot of good questions about the build and stuff and about the process. And it's cool because that's stuff that in the videos themselves, I don't really get a lot of time to talk about. Or maybe, I mean, in my videos, I can take whatever time I want, but maybe I just don't think about talking about it. So, there's a lot of good there. We're going to get some of this stuff just clear out of the way so I can sweep. Am I still going to sell the Nova? I put it up for sale. I've had a couple nibbles, but nothing too serious. You know, so I don't know. If somebody came right now with the asking price for the Nova as a roller, cash in hand, I'd have a decision to make because, like I said, we've got those obligations coming up in a few weeks and all that kind of stuff. But would I pass on the opportunity to sell it? I'm not sure. Finish line, yeah. Just race it when it's, yeah. What made me decide to go with the Camaro? Good question. Hopefully, first, let me make sure. Am I talking loud enough when I step away from the camera that you guys can hear me okay? If you guys can hear me okay, I'll look for that in the comments. If you guys can hear me okay, then I'll go ahead and get into that explanation. But you're loud enough. Yeah, we can hear you. Okay, so why did I choose this car, right? I will give you guys the rundown. Part of it actually came from a conversation that I had with Mallory. And she said, hey, like, you know, if you had some money, what would you do with it, right? Like, what would you do? Would you build the Nova? Would you this? Would you that? Whatever. I would love to stay in the Nova. That would be awesome. The problem is that the Nova is at a point where, in order to take it further, more effectively, further, and faster, and safer, we would essentially have to do a lot of what is already done to this car. You know, the Nova's next steps would be one of two things, right? If somebody buys the Nova and they want to go 590 racing, you know, or 6.0, dog. Drop a junkyard turbo LS in it, put it on about 20 pounds. Well, if you're prepped, it'll probably even take less than that. But I got you. You can run the number all day. It'll all be good. To go as fast as I would like to go, we are going to require more chassis, more power, less weight. You know, there's so many ways to skin a cat, right? You can go faster by adding more power. That takes a lot of money. I've already had a big block in the Nova. I know how heavy those things are and how heavy the Nova already is to begin with. So it came down to making a decision about what I wanted to do. And I wanted to continue on with my original goals of going fast and enjoying small tire racing. The problem is that small tire racing over the last few years has become outrageous. It is incredible what small tire racing is these days. So this platform, I believe, was the best opportunity that I could have to attempt to reach my goals. Now, with that being said, I also knew that it's possible. Right now in small tire, for the most part, a lot of it is just anything goes. You know, 28, 10, 5, steel roof and quarters, if they even say that, and send it. Right? But I believe that in the future, some of that may change. I believe it's possible that classes will get broken up a little bit more. There'll be some more restrictions, everything. So also part of the reason in wanting to do this car was because, you know, factory firewall, factory floor to the back half, factory front frame rail, factory suspension, factory. A lot of factory shit. So I think that if I invest in this, that we should meet the current rules and whatever new rules there are for the future. 30 pounds of boost was giving him 1,300 horsepower. There may be a safe 200 shot. I don't know what you're talking about 200 shot for. Don't fuck with nitrous. You do come across with your philosophy you showed where you wanted the turbos and where they ended up. Yeah, oh yeah, this is true. Am I gonna add nitrous? No. No, I'm not gonna add nitrous. Blurry blue, you can't. Oh man, I'll tell you what, nothing feels better than sweeping all this shit up after a day of just making a freaking mess. Cutting and grinding, welding, dropping shit. everything. And I mean, this stuff is like, sometimes I try to do this throughout the day and just working on. There's so much shit. So much of a mess we're creating doing this stuff. But that was ultimately my decision. I did, for a little bit, think about possibly taking the money from the white car and putting it into the Regal and saying, fuck trying to go fast, I will just have a really, 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 really fun street car. I did contemplate that after talking to some friends and all that kind of stuff. The consensus was, we're just going to end up back here anyway. Like, I'm just going to end up trying to go fast again. So, why fight it? Just do the damn thing and call it a day. So, yeah. I hope you win big. Thank you. Oh, alright. What else you guys got? Give me something good. Matter of fact, I'm going to give y'all something good. And I've been pleasant to not do this. Bang. Because it makes noise. Ricky Bobby, I just want to go fast. I just want to go fast, dog. I just want to know what happened to my eye. Like, what did I do today that I caught myself slacking. Damn. I think I got like metal in my face and stuff too. There's 150 of y'all on here right now. This is wild. Phone power going up. How close to being finished or on track are you with it? I can't honestly answer that. The amount of time I thought that it would take, every single part of this process has taken 3 times as long as I thought it would. So I don't know. You know, I could read you off the list of what still needs to be done, but it doesn't, you know, plumbing could take 3 hours, it could take 6 hours, it could take 9 hours. It just depends on what we run into, and, you know, trying to figure out. I've tried to have a lot of forethought in a lot of the things I'm doing, so hopefully that helps out. But does that make Mal mad? No. I don't want to make her mad. Are you opposed to cheap paint jobs? I'm not opposed to it. Like, am I opposed to taking the car somewhere for a cheap paint job? Nope. I am opposed to that. I will buy paint and spray paint cans and do it myself before that ever happens. Now, how do you... I don't know. Frank, I see your comment, but it came up as like hidden, and I tried to unhide it, and it's not letting me. I don't know. Maybe use the Nova as a street car. Nope. The Nova's too far one way. Like, it doesn't make sense. I've got the Regal. The Regal has full interior. It's leather, everything. Like, I'd much rather use the Regal as a street car. What's the big race you want to win? I'm going to be honest with you. I don't know. Oh, we're talking about the eye. Yeah, I got you. I don't know, because I'm very much a realist, right? So, like, where as much as I would love to say, like, oh, I'd love to win War in the Woods, I know what it takes to win War in the Woods, and I know how far off that mark we are. So, I don't know, maybe that's my own fault. Maybe I should just be a dreamer and be like, I'd love to win War in the Woods. I'd love to, you know, win Dig or Die. I'd love to win all this. But I'm much more real about it. Like, I know what it takes. You know, I know that right now, the Nova, depending, and half of it is who you draw. Half of it is luck. Sometimes you draw the guy that wins the whole thing and is super fast. Sometimes you draw somebody like yourself, somebody you draw a little faster, sometimes you draw a little slower, whatever. So that's half of it. You know, you could win, you know, right now the Nova, if we put the good motor in it and made 30 pounds, You know, we'd probably get it down probably into the 60s, I would think. And then go from there, whatever. But I don't know. But is that enough for dig or die? 560s is, but can I go 560s on that surface? I don't know. We haven't quite figured out how to get the weight to be happy in the Nova and all that kind of shit and all that, blah, blah, blah. I did want to get to this question because Frank asked, how is SHITBOX Supply business? SHITBOX Supply business is doing well. We are continuing to expand. It's actually funny. So, sorry, I had to think about how I want to say this. For those of you guys that don't know, Brad, who owns Snake Eater Performance, is, you know, obviously a close friend of mine. We've done business together for years. We've had a crazy working relationship to points of, you know, I know a lot about his business and everything and what he plans on doing. And that's why I kind of wanted to think, because what I do want to share is that both Brad and I have been pushing each other to grow our businesses and in a different way. So both of us are making a significant, well, he's making a significant effort. I'm trying to, but making a significant effort to have more made in America products. We have some now, but we are making a very conscious effort, and it's fun because we're friends and we do business together and stuff. So we're also like kind of competing, and it helps push, you know, both of us are pushing each other to be better. So we're doing that. I don't know if you guys follow me on Facebook. I said that when I bought the 3D printer, if I could figure it out, I would buy a CNC machine and start CNCing my own parts in my own CNC mill. We're not there yet. Fun fact, the mill that I wanted to buy, Brad from Snake Eater actually bought. They don't have it yet, but he did buy it. So I will get to, if anything, I'll get to send him files and have him test stuff for me. Or I do have a friend locally that if I ask very nicely, may be able to. Plus, I do have the guy that produces all of our flanges and mounts and all this that stuff currently. If I would be ready to mass order on scale, I could send off to him. So, yep. Do you plan on going to the next Small Tire Gangsters event? If I'm invited, possibly. What is your first goal for the POMOD? First goal is straight. First goal is going to be straight, make it run, get all the functions worked out. One of the big goals is I really, really want to take the car to Texas, to Derek Slower Than You, so that he can assist me with getting the thing lined out. You know, Derek's my boy. He helps me a ton, but I do a lot of stuff on my own and just kind of wing some shit. And I think that if I could go down to Texas for like a week or two and just him and I take the thing out on the street, go testing, take it to the gut, go down the track, like take it to those places, and line the car out, I think that 2 weeks of being down there in Texas with him would be worth 3 to 6 months of me on the road doing it on my own. So that's a really big goal of mine. No, I've talked about it. It's a 580 car. It'll run 580 on the nose at 3,200 pounds, a little more. Yeah. So I've talked about it. Shirt, no, we've stopped making these shirts. We don't make this design anymore. The old Nova on a jack stands in the garage. Hell yeah, then go to Yellow Belly while you're there. Yeah, absolutely. Like I think that the thing is I have shit. I mean, look at the last 3 years. If you're bored, when this live is over, go watch a video from my YouTube channel 3 years ago and look at the difference look at the difference. I mean, I have learned leaps and bounds of information, but there's still, you know, there's still a metric shit ton to be learned. So I think that if I could go to some of these places and, you know, be with certain people that are actually willing to help me figure it out, you know what I mean? And you know, like Derek is going to be very hands-on. The thing that I like about Derek is Derek goes off on rants, like, and it happens all the time in text messages. Like, he goes off on these really long rants, and I tease him all the time and tell him it's gonna, you know, that I'm making a book about things that my tuner said, and like I'm gonna put all of this stuff in the book. If you look, you could. An average person could probably learn a metric shit ton just by if you had a copy of me and Derek's text message history. So, but like I said, he'd be very hands-on, but he'd be very willing to also explain along the way and give me the rationale and the reasoning and the, you know, there's still so much that could be learned. Like, I think the Nova will go 580 on the nose. I think it should go 70s or 60s, possibly 60s. Roughly, you know, same boost, not more boost, but just changes, you know, chassis, suspension, the way we apply power, how we do it, theory. The thing is that, you know, the way that you apply power in a car and tune for a surface or whatever the case may be, there's a whole bunch of different theories on how to do it. And not necessarily theories because they're proven, but you know, there's 6 different ways to do it. Doesn't mean that any one is better than the other, but there's multiple ways to do it. So like, I know we had our fastest 60 foot in the Nova ever, and it was on the street. It wasn't even at the track. Like, fastest ever was on the street. So what happened is I was like, that's weird, because I left with less boost than I normally do, and blah, 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 blah. So part of that was, you know, well, we matched the power of the motor to what the chassis was doing, which is incredibly hard to do when you're doing it by just a video of the pass. Like, without shock sensors, without data, it's very, very hard to match power to chassis just by looking at it. You can try, and we do try, and we've done better about it, and you know what I mean? All that kind of stuff. It's, but data would help. Come a long way since that damn blue Mustang. Yeah, scatter your bottom end to dig. I did not scatter my bottom end to dig or die. The bottom end did not scatter. Actually, that thing drove and raced right after that. What size tire are you planning on running on the Pro Mod? 28 10.5. Hey, missed you a while, but now getting back to enjoy it. Been enjoying adventures, memories from my street racing days, 70s days. Keep it fun because your sharing gives us a lot of pleasure. Thank you, Steven. I appreciate it. I really do. I do appreciate you guys, especially the folks that leave a lot of positive comments and positivity, because trust me, I get more than my fair share of the negative shit and the bullshit. So, sucks that you gave up on the Nova because you had that thing flying, but I understand why it's not. No. So that's the thing. That's what you don't understand. Like, and I think that a lot of people that watch these videos don't understand. While 580s is flying, yes, and small tire no prep, it is not where we need to be. We are way off the mark, you know. So it's not like I could take it around the country and keep getting my ass handed to me, but I know that we're not where we need to be ET wise. And, you know, surface is the equalizer, blah, 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 blah. First of all, number one, it's bullshit. Number two, the reason that's bullshit is because it's the way that the math works, right? And I know this because I'm going to tell you guys, I don't know that I've ever said this publicly. The street race video, remember a couple weeks ago when I won in the Nova, I won that street shootout, I won with a 670, right? Well, you think to yourself, how do you win with a 670? Well, the answer is I took a car that is capable of 580s and I turned it down to 670. Now, in all reality, we probably should have gone 50s, maybe even 30s on that road. I just didn't have enough passes to figure it out. Honestly, every pass, I turned down the power and it went faster. But that's the way that it works. So if I have a car that all out on its best day can run 580, well, you know, on the backside or whatever, like, people are going 580 at dig or die. Well, how are they doing it? With cars that can go 480s or 520s or whatever, and they're turning it, you know what I'm saying? So it just is what it is. You have to have that ability on tap, and then it comes back and forth, like, you know, depending on how fast you can 60 foot, the difference in adding 200 horsepower in the first 300 foot is way different than the difference of adding 200 horsepower in the second 300 foot. The second 330 feet. The second 330 feet, you can add 200 horsepower, and it's not going to make anywhere near as much of a difference as if you add 200 horsepower in the first 330 feet or the first 60 foot if you can. But that's the thing, is if you can. So I grew up street racing in Southern California. Touring for the street is fun. So what do you think it's going to take to win on some of these small tire races? War in the Woods, is it high fours by the end of the night? It's faster than that. Yeah, honestly, it's faster than that. And we are building this entire car and knowing that I am still outgunned at a lot of shit. But if the car does what it's supposed to do, we can be competitive in quite a few places and go on from there. You know what I mean? Mid fours, 411, no, not 411. Yeah, Lyle. It was just funny because Lyle's tuner engine builder guy will tell you that you only need 1100 horsepower for no prep, but you need to go mid fours, so something don't add up. Think about that. Everyone's getting faster. Yeah. Yeah, I mean, everyone's getting fast. Yeah, you got to race your lane, but you know, it is what it is. I always, at least attempt to, always just try to do what I think I can do down that lane. That's another reason why I want to like go down to Texas and spend time with Derek and do some other shit. First of all, what I really want to do is sit down. I'm talking to you guys. I've been busting my ass for hours and hours and hours today. I'd like to take a seat if y'all don't mind. But there's also stuff that I think I need to learn about decision making, like, you know, where I think that the car can do X or Y, Derek thinks that the car can do Z. So, I need my Gatorade too. I'll be right back. The problem is with no, like right now, we have no wheel speed sensors, we have no, you know, drive shaft sensor, we have nothing to assist us if we overshoot it. So if I tend to undershoot a lot of the times purely because if I overshoot, we're screwed, right? So if I overshoot the tune-up, it's just gonna spin the tires, there's no coming back from it, we're done. If I undershoot it, I have a scramble button, I have more boost I can give it, and hopefully I figure out that I undershot it fast enough and get on it fast enough. So what should change about this car is that once I get the wheel speed and drive shaft and shock sensors and all of the sensors in this, we can pre-program some stuff into the car to help us in the event that I overshoot things. I'll be a little more comfortable going for it a little bit more, because if we do, and Derek has videos on this and stuff, so if you guys ever want to learn about it, go slower than you on YouTube, but he's got some videos and stuff. I don't know how much he's talked about it in them all, but I know that they're out there. Like he does like a slip ratio based traction control kind of setup to pull timing. So if we notice that the drive shaft and the front wheel are moving at two drastically different rates, aka the back tires are spinning, we can pull some timing and the computer will automatically do it for me. Now, is that going to mean that I'm not going to spin the tires? No. Does it mean that I still can't screw up? No. But it is more helpful than the rudimentary things that we've been doing with the Nova thus far. What gear ratio is good for street car, BBC 454 my 74 Camaro? I don't know. It's probably going to be a 373, 410, something like that. Street cars are different because gear ratio is, you have to do the math on what do you want. Do you want to cruise at 65 miles an hour down the highway? Then you do the math on your gear ratio based on that. Transmission doesn't matter unless it's an overdrive transmission, but 350, 400, Power Glide doesn't matter. All those transmissions are 1-to-1 ratio in high gear, whether it's whether it's 2 gears, 3 gears, whatever. The high gear is 1-to-1. Overdrive will not be 1-to-1, obviously. So, you just got to do your math based on what you want to do. Keep your chin up. You have a very good grip on your wheels. Thank you, Scooter. I'm not gonna lie. Sometimes I don't feel that way. So I also think that's the other thing too. Like, I am probably one of the most open folks on YouTube or doing this stuff in terms of like just being open about the fact that, like, I don't know. Sometimes I don't think I am, but if you ever in OKC area need anything, feel free to hit me up. Absolutely, Scooter. I appreciate it. Oh, man. We got some Gatorade, some hater. What time is it? What time is it on the East Coast? Not where you're at, wherever you people are at. We got any international people watching right now? Sometimes we end up with like Australia, England. Canada is technically international, but, they're like right there, eh? So... yeah, the cricket's back. It's 11. Oh, shit. Oh. Kentucky, 10:58. Yeah, 11. All right, so if it's 11, I need to get my ass off the live. That's what has to happen. So we're at 105 minutes of being live. So we'll wrap it up with, if you guys got a few more simple questions or something that hopefully is not going to throw me off on a 20-minute tangent, but I can turn anything into a 20-minute tangent apparently. So, has everybody that's watching right now seen the car in its current status? Do I need to do another walk around? Has everybody seen it? Philly Street Race, Tom Mack, my man. Thank you, brother. I will talk to you later. Love the lives. Yeah, so I haven't gone live in a while. I'm not gonna bullshit you guys. We've been busy. Like, I've been really humping, trying to get this car done. Plus, I've been humping, like, all the 3D printed stuff. 2 weeks ago, I didn't own a 3D printer. 2 weeks ago, I'd never used CAD software. So in the middle of building all of this, I'm also teaching myself how to do all that kind of stuff. So building the car, doing that, trying to come up with new parts and products and blah 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 and all that kind of stuff. I've had some shit going on. So plus I'm like, I don't want to go live and give away like the updates for the stuff that's going to be in the videos. But then I realized that if you guys are fans of the channel, you're going to watch the videos and the lives anyway. It's not going to matter. We're not giving away shit. So what happened with that used motor you had? I'm not sure what used motor you're discussing. But so fuel cell mount is kind of done. All this stuff needs paint, might possibly need some supports. You know, that's where the stuff comes out of the fuel cell. Air to water intercooler, ice tank. We've got the start of the anti-roll bar going. We've got doors mounted with our fancy SHITBOX Supply adjustable fiberglass door mount plates. Front end is not going to get mounted yet because like I said, I wanted to go from the middle of the car forward. I have all the stuff to do the very front of the car, but I don't have all the stuff to do there. And I think that it's going to end up, I think that in order to do it properly, I think I need to go from there forward. I think if I try hanging this first and then try matching that up, I think I'm going to screw it up. Whatever happened with the big block? The big block is at an engine builder. It has been since October. So that's what I got on the big block. It's been at an engine builder since October, November, something like that. Look, I'm not thrilled about it either. Good news is this thing is already motor plated for a big block. And I do have the big block motor plate sitting right there. So if we ever get the big block back, and then I get a whole bunch of money to convert it to fuel injection, run it on Holly and all that, big block can go in this. That was also, I saw somebody make a comment about that earlier, about doing this car. That is part of the reason why doing this car, because this car can be grown into. The bones of this car are solid. 4-link, if we don't like it, we can upgrade it. 9-inch, if we don't like it, we can upgrade it. You know, we can grow in this car for many years to come without a complete overhaul like the Nova would be. No, you haven't missed an update. It's just, that's what it is. That's what I'm saying about it right now. Oh, look, there's my wishbone I made. Yeah. Steering is not, it doesn't look too bad right now, but it's not perfectly straight. Doesn't matter. Seat's not in the right spot. I need to build new seat mounts. That's all tied into the chassis, so that's hard to do. Brake pedal, current position of the seat is too far away. I'm not gonna lie to you guys. I think I'm just gonna do like a block on the brake pedal. I'm just gonna put like a 4-inch block on the brake pedal, and we'll put the gas pedal wherever and whatever. Wilwood master cylinder, we went with like a standard style Wilwood master cylinder because when I talked to them guys, they said, hey, if you still have the factory brake stuff in there, let's go with that. The guy told me flat, he's like, GM did an amazing job engineering the brake pedal and for it to work and work properly. So if you can use it, please go ahead and use it. So we are going to use it. The thing that's going to be different about this is our front calipers are small piston, right? So I'm just trying to remember, make sure I say this right. The front calipers are smaller piston. They're a smaller diameter piston, specifically for this setup, the weight of the vehicle, the purpose of the vehicle, and everything. Because we're going to have a skinny front tire, typically in a car, most of the braking force is done in the front, not the rear. But when you have a really skinny front tire, it's not as easy to put all of the braking force on the front tire because there's not enough contact patch. So what we are going to do is, And this has all been thought out by Willwood. I didn't think of this. Willwood, they spec'd all this out and told me everything and blah, blah, blah. So we're actually going to route the rear chamber. What would normally go to the rear brakes is going to go to the front, and what would normally go to the front is going to go to the rear. And it's going to change the brake bias a little bit. We've got a proportioning valve and stuff too, but this tire is much larger, has much more contact patch than the front tire, so should make for a more even braking vehicle. And that is the theory behind that. I don't know. I'm not that smart. Guys at Willwood, way smarter than me. Also, if you can see, that ball joint is screaming in there. We did order the Nicky Bobby, whatchamacallit, the plates that go in there. He makes some adapter plates that kind of correct that angle. So we did that. David, I could tell you something about that, but I'm legally not allowed to. Just know that these brakes are very, very good. So we've got a rear set up for the brakes too. I still need to drop the rear out, pull the axles out again so I can measure the bearing diameter, so I can order new bearings. We need bearings. We need studs for the front of the 9-inch. We need some new studs there. I have, where are they at? Look, I have a whole new kit, brand new 5/8 studs, spacers, screw-in type, everything. We've got a brand new set of Snake Eater Pro Series 2200s in the house. We have got stuff. So I did, like I talked about earlier, I did start to try to figure out the steering. It's going to be a little tight there. We're going to have to get that kind of figured out, but I did not want to connect the other end until I made my ultimate decision on what we're doing with the rack. So and what I mean by the rack is I want to drop it. Let me see if you guys can see it from here. Yeah, look at that angle, right? So the angle of that, and it's only going to get worse when we build our long travel kit. I think it's only going to get worse. So if we drop that rack like an inch, I think that's going to help us drastically. Love the videos. Thank you, bud. Thank you very much. I'm glad you guys enjoy them. So what I would like to do, I have to figure out what I'm going to do with the battery. So I got to get a battery mount or something. Got to get that figured out so I can do that, wrap that up, paint all this shit, support it, everything, put all the tin work back here, back together, wrap this crap up, be done with it. I'd really like to do that. I do need to find a hood too, a fiberglass hood. Doesn't matter, flat, cal, anything, it's gonna get cut up. So preferably if I can find an old piece of shit hood that's super cheap. Like if I can find an old beat up fiberglass hood for $100, like that would be the winner for this, because we're gonna cut it up anyway. So, but that's gonna be it for now, guys. I appreciate you guys tuning in live, tuning in with your boy. But I need to get out of here, go get washed. I cleaned up the shop a little bit, not as much as I would have liked to, but that's the other thing. I've been putting a lot of pressure on myself to do all this crap and to get all of it done and everything. And sometimes I just got to realize, like, hey, man, you're making progress. You're doing it every day. Every day I come in here, something else is done that wasn't done before. Parachute. Yeah, we're gonna have to do a parachute. I gotta buy one of those. So, yeah, I gotta do more work because I need to get some more monies up to get some of the final things I need for this damn car. What about 2 batteries? No, we're not gonna do 2 batteries. Man, it would just take up too much space. And battery technology has come so far now these days that we should be able to do what we need to do with one decent one. Steel hood. Yeah, unfortunately, steel hood's not going to work because I don't believe that I could cut enough out of a steel hood to make it light enough to mount to the fiberglass front end without issue. So it's gonna have to be a fiberglass hood. All right, I will catch you guys later. I'm getting the hell up out of here. I'm gonna go home, wash myself, get some food. Did I eat dinner today? I don't think I ate dinner today. Yeah, see, you'll have them days. I'll catch you guys later. Your boy is out.